Imagine this. You wake in the dead of night, heart pounding, a strange heat coursing through your veins. The room is silent, but your mind is a storm, flashes of desires, fleeting images of things you crave, but cannot name. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, and a question claws its way to the surface. Why does this hunger, this insatiable pull, feel like it owns you? It's not just the fleeting temptation of flesh or fantasy. It's something deeper, a primal force that hums beneath every choice, every glance, every unspoken thought. You try to dismiss it, to call it instinct, but the weight of it lingers, heavy as a shadow you can't outrun. What if this thing, this lust, is not just a fleeting urge, but the invisible chain that binds your entire existence? You've felt it before, haven't you? That moment when a want, so vivid it blinds you, takes hold and drags you towards something you know you should resist. It's not just about bodies or pleasure, it's the craving for more status, more power, more validation, more escape. It's the whisper that says you're not enough, not yet, not until you have it. And here's the paradox that stings like a blade. The more you chase it, the emptier you feel. You win the prize, and it turns to ash in your hands. You climb the mountain, only to find another peak beyond it, mocking you. Why does the thing that promises freedom always leave you caged? Why does the pursuit of desire feel like a war you're destined to lose? Consider this. What if lust isn't just a fleeting impulse, but a mirror reflecting the deepest parts of you? Not just the body's cravings, but the mind's, the soul's. A hunger for meaning dressed up in 1,000 disguises. You see it in the way people scroll endlessly through screens, chasing fleeting dopamine hits. You see it in the way empires rise and fall, built on the backs of insatiable wants. You've felt the pull, that restless hunger gnawing at the edges of your mind. But have you ever stopped to ask where it comes from? Why does this force, this lust, in all its forms, hold such sway over you? It's not just a fleeting whim, it's a current running deep beneath the surface of your life, shaping your choices before you even realize you're choosing. To understand it, you must peel back the layers of your own psyche, dig into the roots that twist through your soul, and face the uncomfortable truth. This desire isn't just personal. It's primal, universal, and woven into the very fabric of existence. But why? Why does it grip you so tightly, and what does it reveal about the war within? Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden part of you that harbors your deepest, most untamed urges. Lust, in its broadest sense, is the shadow's voice, whispering of needs you're too afraid to name. It's not just the body's craving for pleasure, it's the mind's craving for meaning, for power, for something to fill the void that opens when you're alone with yourself. Nietzsche saw it as the will to power, a drive to assert yourself against the chaos of existence, but even he warned of its dangers, how it can consume you, turn you into a slave to your own impulses. Schopenhauer went further, calling desire the root of all suffering, a blind force that traps you in an endless cycle of want and lack. You want, you grasp, you lose, and you want again. Sound familiar? This isn't just philosophy. It's psychology etched into your brain's wiring. Your dopamine system lights up at the promise of reward, whether it's a lover's touch, a promotion, or a fleeting moment of being seen. But here's the trap. The system isn't built for satisfaction. It's built for pursuit. The moment you get what you want, the high fades and the hunger returns, sharper than before. Society amplifies this. Look around. Advertisements, social media, even. The stories you're told, they all stoke the fire, whispering that you're incomplete without the next thing, the next win, the next fix. You're conditioned to chase, to believe that happiness lies just beyond the next craving. But it doesn't. It never does. And yet, there's a deeper layer. Viktor Frankl, who found meaning in the horrors of a concentration camp, argued that desire becomes destructive when it's aimless. Without a higher purpose, your lusts, whether for pleasure, status, or escape, become chains. Sartre would say you're trapped in bad faith, pretending you have no choice but to obey these urges, when in truth, you're free to choose otherwise. But freedom is terrifying, isn't it? To face the void of your own agency, to admit that you've been complicit in your own enslavement. That's a truth most would rather avoid. You let lust lead because it's easier than confronting the question, what do I truly want? This hidden problem festers because it's not just about you, it's about the world you inhabit. A culture that thrives on distraction and instant gratification feeds the cycle, keeping you tethered to desires that never satisfy. The consequences are creeping closer, aren't they? You can feel them in the restlessness that haunts your quiet moments, in the way your victories feel hollow. What happens when you let this force run unchecked? What does it cost you? Your time, your peace, your very sense of self? The answer is coming, and it's not what you expect. You've seen the shadow of your desires, felt their pull, but have you noticed how they ripple outward, silently reshaping your world? Lust, in its many guises, doesn't just live in your mind. It carves paths through your life, your relationships, your very reality. It's a thief in the night, stealing moments, choices, and truths you didn't even know you'd lost. You chase the next thrill, the next validation, the next fleeting high, but what's left in the wake? What happens when you let this force run unchecked, and why does it feel like the ground beneath you is slipping away? Consider the way your brain betrays you. Neurologically, lust hijacks your reward system, flooding you with dopamine that promises joy but delivers only craving. It's the same mechanism that traps gamblers at slot machines, or keeps you scrolling through endless feeds, chasing a hit that never lasts. Cognitive biases, like the availability heuristic, make you overestimate the value of what's shiny and immediate, while the sunk cost fallacy keeps you chasing desires long after they've proven empty. You tell yourself, just one more, but one more never satisfies. It's a loop, and you're caught in it, running toward a horizon that recedes with every step. Now look outward. Society thrives on this. Consumer culture, with its endless ads and curated images, doesn't just sell products, it sells lack. You're bombarded with messages that you're not enough, not rich enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. This isn't accidental, it's engineered. Aldous Huxley warned of a world where desire is weaponized, where people are kept docile by their own cravings. You see it in the way people trade their time for status symbols, their authenticity for likes, their peace for the illusion of control. And the cost? Marriages fray under the weight of unspoken wants. Communities fracture as envy festers. Entire economies teeter on the edge of greed, dressed up as ambition. But the deepest consequence is personal. Each time you give in to aimless desire, you chip away at your own agency. You become a passenger in your own life, driven by impulses you don't fully understand. Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of bad faith looms large here. You pretend you're powerless, that your lusts control you, but deep down, you know you're choosing to let them. This betrayal of self compounds over time. You lose trust in your own judgment. You drift further from who you could be. The dreams you once held dear get buried under a pile of fleeting wants, and one day you wake up wondering where your life went. The urgency is palpable now, isn't it? You can feel the weight of these unseen consequences pressing against your chest. Every choice to indulge, to chase without question, is a brick in the wall that separates you from meaning. But what if there's a way out? What if the very force that binds you could be turned into a key? The trap is real, but so is the possibility of escape. You're standing at the edge of a revelation, one that could shatter the cycle and set you free. Can you sense it? The answer is closer than you think, but it demands courage, a willingness to face the fire within and walk through it. You're standing at the edge now, aren't you? The weight of your desires, the chaos they've wrought, the way they've shaped your life. It's all laid bare, but here's the spark that changes everything. You don't have to be a prisoner. You can rebel. To conquer lust isn't to suppress it, to deny it, or to pretend you're above it. That's a trap too, a different kind of cage. The rebellion is bolder, fiercer, more radical. It's about rewriting the rules of your mind, reclaiming your will, and building a life that doesn't bend to every fleeting craving. This is no small fight. It's a revolution, and it begins with a single defiant choice: to see the world differently. First, you must confront the lie you've been fed, that happiness lies in indulgence. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew better. They practiced apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from being ruled by passions. Imagine this: instead of chasing the next hit of dopamine, you pause, you breathe. You ask, is this what I truly want, or is this what the world has trained me to chase? This question is your first weapon. It cuts through the noise, forcing you to interrogate your desires rather than obey them. Try it now. Think of the last thing you craved. A purchase, a person, a moment of validation. What was it really about? Control, escape, fear of missing out? Name it, and you begin to dismantle its power. Next, rewire your mind through deliberate practice. Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of Auschwitz, taught that between stimulus and response lies a space where you choose. That space is your power. Start small. When the urge to scroll hits, set a timer for 5 minutes and do nothing. Sit with the discomfort, feel the pull, and let it pass. This isn't about willpower. It's about training your mind to see that you are not your desires. Neuroscience backs this up. Mindfulness practices weaken the neural pathways of impulsive behavior, strengthening your prefrontal cortex, the seat of self-control. Over time, the urges lose their grip. You become the one who decides, but this rebellion isn't just internal. You must defy the world that fuels your lust. Algorithms, advertisements, social pressures, they're designed to keep you wanting. So, sabotage them. Curate your environment ruthlessly. Delete apps that hijack your attention. Surround yourself with people who value depth over distraction. Historical rebels like Diogenes, the cynic philosopher, lived this truth. He rejected wealth, status, and comfort, choosing a life of radical simplicity to prove that freedom comes from needing less, not having more. You don't need to live in a barrel, but you can ask, what can I let go of? A subscription, a toxic comparison, a goal that isn't even yours. The counterintuitive truth is that freedom doesn't come from satisfying every desire. It comes from mastering them. Look to history. Gandhi's self-discipline fueled a nation's independence. Nelson Mandela's restraint turned a prisoner into a president. These weren't superhumans. They were people who refused to let their inner chaos rule. You can do the same. Start by setting one boundary, say, no screens after 9 p.m., and treat it as sacred. Each time you honor it, you're not just saying no to a habit, you're saying yes to yourself. You're building a fortress brick by brick against the tyranny of want. This rebellion feels exhilarating. You've begun the rebellion. You've felt the thrill of saying no, of carving out space where your desires once ruled. But now, as the dust settles, you stand at the threshold of something greater, a truth so vast it redefines not just your battle with lust, but your entire existence. To conquer lust is not to win a war against your own nature. It's to discover that you are more than your nature. It's to realize that the world you thought you needed to conquer was never outside you, it was within. This is the ultimate revelation. When you master the chaos of your desires, you don't just gain control, you uncover a deeper self, one that is unshakable, boundless, and free. This truth flips everything you've been taught. The world screams that you are your wants, your cravings, your ambitions, your fleeting highs. But what if you're not? What if beneath the noise, beneath the endless pull of more, there's a stillness, a core of you that doesn't need to chase anything to feel whole? The mystics knew this. Rumi wrote of a field beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, a place where the soul rests, untouched by the churn of desire. The Stoics called it the inner citadel, a fortress of peace no external force could breach. Even modern psychology hints at it. Studies on flow states show that true fulfillment comes not from getting what you want, but from losing yourself in something greater than your wants. This is the paradigm shift. Lust, in all its forms, is a distraction from your true power. Every time you chase a craving, you're running from the vastness within you. Imagine this. You're standing on a cliff, the wind howling, the world below glittering with promises, wealth, fame, pleasure. But when you turn inward, you see an ocean, infinite and calm, that holds everything you've been searching for. This isn't about denying desire, it's about seeing it for what it is. A shadow, not the light. Nietzsche hinted at this when he spoke of the Übermensch, the one who creates their own values, who lives not for what they lack, but for what they are. To conquer lust is to become that creator, to step into a life where you define meaning, not the world. But how do you live this truth? It starts with a single radical act, acceptance, not of your desires, but of your ability to transcend them. Frankl, who found meaning in the darkest corners of human suffering, taught that purpose is not found in what you have but in what you give. So, redirect your energy. Take the fire of your cravings and pour it into something that outlasts the moment. Art, service, connection. When you create, you defy the emptiness of want. When you give, you break the cycle of taking. Look at history. Mother Teresa, who found joy in serving the forgotten. Einstein, who lost himself in the pursuit of truth. They didn't conquer the world by amassing more. They conquered it by becoming more. Now, picture yourself. A year from now, you've practiced this rebellion. You've paused before acting, questioned your impulses, built boundaries that protect your peace. You're no longer a slave to the scroll. The status, the fleeting thrill. What do you see? A life with clarity, where your choices reflect your deepest values, not your loudest urges. Relationships that thrive on presence, not distraction. Work that carries meaning, not just a paycheck. This is the world you conquer. Not a kingdom of things, but a kingdom of self. And yet, the journey doesn't end. Each day, you'll face the pull again. But now you know, every time you choose the deeper path, you're not just resisting, you're creating. So, here you stand, at the edge of your own becoming. The night is quiet now, the phone dark, the restlessness fading. You feel it, don't you? That spark of something eternal, something that no desire can touch. What will you do with it? Will you let it grow, let it reshape you? Let it guide you to a life that's truly yours? Or will you fall back into the old rhythm, chasing shadows that never satisfy? The choice is yours, but know this, to conquer the world, not by ruling it, but by refusing to let it rule you. Step forward. The ocean within is waiting. Step forward. The ocean within is waiting.